The sentence that ended my life didn't come with anger. It came polished. My boss looked tired, like a man finishing a task he'd already accepted. 2 police officers stood near the window, and behind them, leaning against the cabinet like he'd earned the right, was David, the CFO. My wife's cousin, arms crossed. "Security found $50,000 in your desk." "We reviewed the cameras," my boss said. "You're responsible." I tried to answer, but before my mouth caught up with my thoughts, they stepped forward and detained me pending review. The cuffs weren't a verdict, just protocol, but the sound of metal closing around my wrists landed heavier than any accusation. David didn't react. No shock, no curiosity, just relief. As they walked me out, one small detail cut through everything. His phone lit up. A preview from my wife. And when he thought my eyes were already gone, his thumb brushed the screen familiar. That's when it stopped being confusing. This wasn't about money. It was about erasing me. Jail isn't loud like movies make it look. It absorbs sound. Time stretches, then snaps. A few hours later, my lawyer arrived, and behind him stood my son. 13. Too young for that room. Shoulders shaking, jaw locked, holding himself together. "Dad, I know you didn't do this." I smiled because that's what fathers do when they're bleeding on the inside. "Call the bond agent," I told him. "Use the emergency folder. Don't argue with anyone." That night, lying on a cot that felt thinner with every breath, I replayed the last week before my arrest. David's casual questions about access levels, late-night calls to my wife about temporary transfers, the way she'd started turning her phone face down. I told myself I was imagining it, paranoia. But sitting in a cell paid for by their lies, every detail snapped into place. After bail, I came home quietly. The house smelled different. Fresh paint, renovations I hadn't approved. My study was stripped clean. The safe was gone. My wife stood in the kitchen laughing into her phone until she saw me. Her smile collapsed too fast. She hung up without explanation. I didn't ask questions. I sat down. Let the silence speak first. For the next 7 days, I didn't hunt for a confession. I hunted for structure. Who touched what? Why? Ledger edits that looked harmless unless you knew how money actually moved. No sleep. Cold coffee. A forensic accountant who owed me more than favors. Every transfer they blamed on me lined up with the exact hours David was reconciling accounts. Then I found the center of it. A documented offshore account tied to both names, my wife's and David's, sitting behind a clean paper trail they assumed no one would connect. The paperwork and timestamps linked them the same way every time, confident and careless. That night, she sat at the dining table scrolling her tablet, wine glass half full, acting like nothing was broken. I placed the folder in front of her. She didn't touch it, just stared, breathing shallow. "Where did you get this?" "You got careless," I said, "and careless leaves trails." Her hands started shaking. Not tears, fear comes first. David's name sat beneath hers. $250,000. Enough to frame me. Enough for them to disappear. "I loved you." I nodded once. "That's the part you'll remember wrong." The next morning, I returned to the office. My boss was waiting, pale, apologetic. David walked in moments later, confident, still believing the system was his shield. I handed a drive to the police chief. Financial audit. Anonymous source. He didn't plug it in. He passed it down the chain. Internal audit, legal, and the unit already handling financial crimes. And because the evidence matched an open pattern they recognized, things moved fast. Fake transfers. Edited camera footage. Every path led back to David. My wife's name appeared next to his signature. For the first time, his smile failed. He didn't plug it in. He passed it down the chain. Internal audit, legal, and the unit already handling financial crimes. And because the evidence matched an open pattern they recognized, things moved fast. Fake transfers, edited camera footage. Every path led back to David. My wife's name appeared next to his signature. For the first time, his smile failed. "You were right," I said quietly. "The cameras don't lie." They cuffed him in the same place I'd stood a week earlier. He tried to bargain, but nobody listened this time. They tried to bury me with a lie. I let the truth do the digging. That evening, I didn't go home. The house wasn't home anymore, just walls holding old lies. My son called. "They arrested Uncle David. Mom's crying. Are you okay?" I parked by the ocean, engine off, wind cutting through the open window. "I am now." I deleted her number, closed my eyes. I let the waves carry away what I no longer needed to hold. They built my downfall on lies. I didn't need revenge. I just stopped protecting theirs. Want more stories? Remember the name Ashes of Us.